Hey everyone, Dr. Adam here with another weekly wellness video. And I wanted to start with, if you guys haven't already, make sure you get signed up for the Patient Appreciation Day coming up on November the 14th. Everyone who comes in that day is going to get a complimentary adjustment. We're going to have some healthy snacks and goodies for everybody, and we're going to be giving away some prizes. So it's going to be a fun day, and it's really just to celebrate you guys and thank you for being great patients. And then the next following day, we're going to be having a new patient day. So if you know somebody that you think we might be able to help and they're serious about getting better, then let them know about the new patient day, and they can come in and get a complimentary evaluation done, including their exam and x-rays. And all they have to do is bring in, 4 or 5 canned foods for our canned food drive. So keep that in mind, and we'll see you guys on the 14th. Now, what I wanted to talk about today is a continuation of what we talked a little bit about last video with the cholesterol. And I wanted to talk a little bit more about inflammation and, in general, chronic inflammation. Now, the first thing you want to know about inflammation, if it's something that you're typically dealing with regularly, is inflammation is a normal and healthy part of your physiology. Your body needs it to happen. It's a function of the immune system, and without it, your body can't heal. It can't fight off infections. So it's very, very important that your body, has some type of inflammatory response to help you live and survive. Now, the problem is when inflammation becomes chronic. That's when it gets really bad. That's the reason why we have so many allergies and asthmas and heart disease, cancers, autoimmune diseases, all the things that are killing most Americans these days, all stem from chronic inflammatory responses. So it's really important when you've got chronic inflammation, you want to try to figure out where is it really coming from, because it's just your body responding to some type of stress is really where it's coming from. And you want to try to pinpoint and figure out, specifically, what are those stresses and what can you either eliminate or change about them. And I wanted to kind of break down some of the main ones that I typically find with people. And these essentially could be entire videos themselves, which we may end up doing because otherwise this video might be 2 hours long. So I just want to briefly break down some of the main ones that we see with a lot of people. The number one is, and this is something most people don't want to hear, but it's the foods you're eating. Probably the main foods that I see that are really driving inflammation and causing immune system responses are going to be gluten products, which are going to be things like your breads, okay? Whether that's a whole grain bread, a white bread, or some type of pasta. Those tend to have very pro-inflammatory responses in our bodies. And then the other ones are going to be dairy products and soy products. When I run tests on people, those are probably the 3 main types of food that are really driving inflammation. So, and I haven't had a patient yet who, if they cut back on those, say for 30 to 45 days, whether they, really limited it or they just cut it out completely, they always have a positive response as far as decrease in inflammation, having more energy, and just a better overall physiology. Another trigger is going to be blood sugar imbalances. And you don't have to have diabetes to have a blood sugar imbalance. Typically, it's people that just go, chronically going from high blood sugars to low blood sugars. And a lot of times that's something in relation to their diet or some other type of metabolic problem. But whichever one is going on, when you're going from high to low like that and your blood sugars aren't, maintained throughout the day and throughout the night, your body has to release a lot of what's called cortisol, which is your body's main stress hormone. And it releases cortisol to help balance those blood sugars out. And on the short term, once again, that's a very intelligent thing to do. But when you get chronic cortisol levels that are going up to balance that out, chronic cortisol drives chronic inflammation. So working on balancing out the blood sugars and keeping them steady throughout the day, usually with, just simple things in your diet, can really help to lower the inflammatory process. Another big trigger is going to be faulty digestion, which basically just means that you're somewhere along the way, your body and your intestinal tract is not breaking down and digesting the food you're eating, whether it's good or bad food. It's not getting broken down, and your body's not using it. So it's basically just going to sit in your stomach or your intestines and rot. And when that happens, the immune system gets called in because your body sees that as a foreign invader and it wants to get rid of it. So it's going to use the immune system to do that, and the immune system is going to flare up in your intestinal tract and your stomach. And that can lead to all different types of bad problems. Plus, your body's not getting the nutrients you need because it's not digesting things properly. So that could be another big trigger, is faulty digestion. And finally, another one is, and can be a big one, is chronic infections. Okay, and by that I mean, infections with things like parasites or bad bacteria, fungus, yeast. There's a little bacteria called H. pylori. This is the most common infection in America, but these are typically asymptomatic, or there's no symptoms other than chronic inflammation with these types of infections. So they don't necessarily make you feel sick or throw up and things like that. They're very subtle types of infections, but they're driving the inflammatory process because your body is constantly trying to find it and kill it. So it helps to look for those types of infections, whether you're using different types of lab tests. I use a stool analysis a lot of times to check for those types of infections, because you want to know if they're there. That way you can get rid of it and decrease the inflammation. So those are kind of some of the more common triggers that you want to be kind of wary of and maybe be thinking about as far as in your life. And as far as some simple things you can just start to do to start decreasing chronic inflammation. Of course, we talked about just cleaning up your diet. And if you guys want, you can stop by the front desk, and ask for the anti-inflammatory dietary lifestyle sheet that we've got here at the front desk, and that kind of lays out as far as the best type of dietary recommendations as far as what you want to concentrate on to lower inflammation. And then as far as if you're thinking about supplements, the best supplements, just in general, everybody's different, but just in general, supplements that are going to help can be things like vitamin D are going to help, as well as omega-3 fatty acids, a good quality type of fish oil, and then also proteolytic plant-based digestive enzymes will also help out a whole lot, especially if you're one of those people that you do have some type of faulty digestion. The enzymes will actually help your body in breaking down the food and getting it to digest and absorb better. So those are just some of the simple things you can look into doing. And of course, if you have any questions, if you really are dealing with something like this, you can always just stop me in the office and ask me something more specific in your case, and I'd be happy to see if we can figure out something more specific for your body. So anyways, once again I hope you guys learned something new today. Remember once again to get signed up for the Patient Appreciation Day, and we'll be making more of these videos here in the next few weeks. And depending on what you guys want, we can break down some more of the specifics of the triggers, and just trying to figure out better lifestyle modifications you can start to make in order to start decreasing the inflammation, so your body can heal like it's supposed to. So anyway, hope you guys have a great week, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.